You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, Kay Cabot. For today, man, we got some action, man. Garrett Bush of the Barbershop. Did he just expose Kay Cabot for lying about a situation surrounding around Shedeur Sanders on saying that there's no rumblings in the locker room that they want to see Shedeur play? We're going to talk about all that here right after this. Well, guys, man, one of the real ones out there in Cleveland, Garrett Bush from the Barbershop, he's basically saying his phone been blowing up. And everything that Mary Kay said yesterday about people not in the locker room, there's no rumblings about Shedeur Sanders playing. Nobody's checking for Shedeur. They rallying behind Dillon Gabriel to be the quarterback. They just got to trust the process. They got to back Dillon Gabriel. And they just got to stand 10 toes down and just ride the ship because Dillon Gabriel is going to be the starting quarterback moving forward. And Mary Kay came out and said she ain't heard nothing about players talking about they getting tired of seeing what Dillon Gabriel is bringing to the table. They want change. They want to see Shedeur Sanders in the game. Kay Cabot says she ain't heard none of that. And then they did an interview with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy basically protecting his quarterback, which rightfully so. You're not going to come out in the media and bash your quarterback like that because, you know, the quarterback and the receiver's relationship is key because you don't want no drama between the quarterback and the wide receiver because then you won't get no touches at all. They won't even look your way. But you see the situation that's going on in Philadelphia with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Basically, A.J. Brown came out and told all his fantasy owners, y'all might as well just drop me. So that's taking a shot at their quarterback and Jalen Hurts. But in this case, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Now, there's a lot of reports out there saying that Dillon Gabriel is going to get 3 to 4 more games. There's some reports saying that Shedeur Sanders might make his first start against the Raiders. But I won't believe it until I see it. But when Kay Cabot comes out and says things like this, and you got somebody that's heavy in the Cleveland media and somebody that's credible, such as G. Bush from the Barbershop, it holds a lot of weight. So let's listen to what Kay Cabot had to say yesterday, and then we're going to follow it up with some audio of what G. Bush was talking about on the Ultimate Cleveland podcast. But before we do that, we partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Now, guys, with that being said, man, we're going to revisit on what Kay Cabot had to say on the Ken Carman and Anthony Lima show yesterday when she uttered the words that Nobody is checking for Shedeur. Nobody's saying that they want to see Shedeur get in the game and that they're backing Dillon Gabriel. So let's take a listen to what Mary Kay had to say.
Hello, Mary Kay.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Have there been players who have told you at all, or sources in the building, I should say, who have told you that they are ready for Shedeur Sanders to start?
No, I have not had that. I have definitely not had that. Absolutely have had so much support for Dillon Gabriel, and guys really are rallying behind him and trying to understand that he is a developing rookie, just the same way Shedeur is going to be when he gets in there, and that they're trying to do everything that they can to play better for him. I'm sure people are curious to a degree, but no one has shared with me that they want Shedeur to get in there over Dillon right now.
Why do you think that is?
I think that the messaging from the top has been pretty good. I think that Kevin Stefanski has made it very clear to his football team what's going on right now with Dillon Gabriel and how they need to support him and what the plan is for getting better around him. So I think the messaging has been good enough that people understand what's going on. And I'm not hearing those whispers and seeing those things going on behind the scenes in the building.
Yeah, I just remember, Mary Kay, and it was a different time, a different era that I don't know if you've blocked most of it out during the Johnny Manziel versus, at that time, Brian Hoyer dilemma. And there were factions. Like there were young players behind the scenes that were like, wait till you see Johnny. The ball comes out of his hands faster. And then once we kind of got into the season, they're like, oh, God, no, it has to be Brian Hoyer. Like all that was getting leaked out constantly. I remember the national reporters were getting fed stuff. You were hearing stuff all the time. And I just find it odd that with as bad as Dillon has played, with as bad as the team has played, let's be fair here, it's not just a Dillon thing, that if the Shedeur stuff was so undeniable behind the scenes, I feel like we would hear it all the time.
We would hear it all the time, and you guys aren't hearing it either, I'm sure.
Now, you heard what Mary Kay Cabot had to say. Now, she went on to say that they're backing Dillon Gabriel. But then she also said when Shedeur gets in there. So is she saying that Shedeur is going to have a possibility to get in there? But she said the coaching staff message is you're going to back Dillon Gabriel up. But she says she hasn't heard anything about players wanting to see Shedeur Sanders play. Now, a lot of people have come out and say, why would they even tell Mary Kay that they want to see Shedeur Sanders play? Because a lot of people know how Mary Kay Cabot is. But now we got G. Bush from the Barbershop basically saying, he got receipts. So let's take a listen to what G. Bush had to say on the Ultimate Cleveland Browns podcast. And you won't believe what he said. Take a listen.
What's that? If somebody would have saw him play and the players would have seen him, somebody would have been saying something. Name me the last player that jumped on record when a reporter said, hey, what do you think about the quarterback?
Well, not on record. Nobody's going to say something on record. Well, guys could be saying something off the record.
Hey, listen, I don't know how many. Maybe I got to just stand. Do I got to do backflips off this table?
Yes.
Because I done told you multiple times on this show.
Yes.
I said my phone went off the hook last week. I don't even know these folks. They're like, listen, we tired of seeing this. We're tired.
Players?
Yes.
Okay.
Tired. And by the way, I keep trying to, these ain't no special teamers. You do the math. It ain't special teams dudes running down on kickoff.
I hear you. So, I don't.
So here's the thing. The reality of the situation is it ain't up to the players to decide who it is. The decision is on Kevin Stefanski to play the guy who gives you an opportunity to do something. And we've obviously seen that he's not the dude. We've seen it, but we have to sit here and pretend. Why are we pretending?
Are we?
Yeah, no, we're not pretending. We're not pretending. Some people are pretending.
Yeah, some people are.
Some people still pretending. But no, I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a bigger picture.
I think it's a small percentage of people that are pretending at this point.
Look.
Now, you heard what G. Bush had to say. He said, man, do I got to do backflip off this table? Because I told you a amount of time on this show that my phone has been blown off the hook, and it ain't been no special team players. So basically, he's saying, and he's exposing Mary Kay Cabot for lying about the Shedeur Sanders situation, because if it's not special team players, it must be some significant players that are on that roster that he's talking about. And I told y'all guys on this show plenty of times, I've heard what David Njoku has said. I've heard what Myles Garrett had to say. You saw Myles Garrett slam his helmet down in frustration and keep on coming to the post-game press conference talking about we losing in the same way every week. And he's taking a shot at his quarterback. And then he took another shot at his quarterback and the head coach by stating that we should run the ball. He don't trust Dylan throwing the ball. So yes, there's some rumblings back there. Mary Kay is just covering it up, but G. Bush is exposing that. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Get down in the comments section. I want to know what y'all feel about what G. Bush said. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.